Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of OAF Discussions. I'm Kid Swift.
It's Thoroughbred Webb.
And we are back after a week post-Comic-Con. I did not get to make it, unfortunately. I know I suck. But Webb got to go. So.
Meant to ask you, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to. I had to go out of town. So I didn't get to go. But I did keep up with everything, and like everybody I know went. So I was like, damn it, everybody went. But yeah, how was it? Did you enjoy it?
I had a good time.
I saw the pictures.
I had a good time. Yeah, I posted some pictures of the three folks I went to get an autograph with. Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, right, or the Congo, or whatever other movie you might be recognizing from.
Yeah.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
From Ninja Turtles 2 and Surf Ninja.
Right. Yeah. I was like, whoa. I was like, holy crap. I didn't even know he was gonna be there. That threw me off. I was like, wow.
I looked at the list at the last second because I was sitting there going like, you know what? Goldberg's going to be this year. Oh, I also had an autograph and picture with him too. Oh, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I was sitting there looking at the list. Yeah. And I was sitting there like, yeah, okay, Goldberg's there. Okay. Maybe if I can find another person, I can definitely go. Right. Hey, Ernie Hudson.
Right.
All right. Well, that's only two. I don't want to sit there and go there just for two autographs.
Right.
Ernie Reyes. Fucking sold. I'm in there.
I'm in there. That's great.
I'm in there.
Let's go. Sign me up.
So yeah, I finally actually
was my bad. Was Deathstroke there? Did you get a chance to meet him?
Manu Bennett. Who played Deathstroke, or Wade Wilson from Arrow. Right. Or if you recognize him from Spartacus, he actually canceled. There was a list of cancellations. And I was sitting there looking through it. I was like, well, some of these look familiar. Yeah. And then like the first one that actually popped in my head was Manu Bennett. Yeah. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah.
That's probably right.
So yeah, Deathstroke was actually scheduled to be at the Comic-Con, but he had to cancel.
Okay. I was wondering about that because I was like, I didn't see you. I didn't see you get a picture with him. So I was like, you would have got a picture with him. Absolutely. That was the thing. I was like, I know you'd have got a picture with him. And then I was like, I didn't see like anybody else's picture, pictures like with him or anything like that. So I was like, okay. I was like, maybe something happened. Maybe his line was too long or something weird, or I don't know. But okay. So
no. Well, yeah, there were some long lines, especially Goldberg's. His kind of looped.
Yeah.
Well, not looped, but it's weird how they had it set up because they were trying to make room for Ernie Hudson and Tara Reid, and Goldberg were called kind of in this corner. Yeah. Oh, and what is his name from?
I forgot Tara Reid
from Sons of Anarchy. Damn. Hold on.
Which dude?
I don't watch the show, but I know he was from Sons of Anarchy.
I've watched
Tommy Flanagan, who played Chibs from Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, he was there.
All four of them were kind of in a corner.
Yeah.
Or they were occupying a corner.
Right.
And it was tricky as hell to sit there and get to Flanagan.
Yeah.
While Tara Reid's and Ernie's was a straight line, Flanagan's was in the corner, and you kind of had to go around.
Yeah, to get to Flanagan.
Oh, okay. And then with Goldberg, you kind of had to do like a weird little loop.
Okay.
To get over there. To get to him. But his line felt the longest just because you could actually see the beginning and the end.
Okay. Yeah. So
but he actually kind of breezed through it. I mean, not to breeze through it like he's just. Get out of here.
Right, yeah.
Nothing like that. It probably would have went faster if the dude in front of me wasn't sitting there trying to get his fucking mint condition toys or action figures, autographed by him and whatnot.
Like Goldberg toys?
He had a tote full of Goldberg toys. Oh, the exact same thing. Like
he's about to hit eBay up real heavy.
Yeah, see? That was some shit that that'd have been some shit that me and my father would have pulled like a couple years ago.
Right, yeah.
Because we still got some action figures that we ain't opened, but I mean, it was a done deal with the wrestlers. But so he was directly in front of me. Sure. I had to wait a little bit, and then all of a sudden, a police officer had, I don't know if he was cutting or if he just happened to be patrolling. Hopefully, he was just patrolling.
Right, yeah.
Because there's some bitch sit there and cut me. But anyway, he sit there and he chatted with Goldberg. But the thing was, he wasn't in line. He was just kind of came back out there from the curtain or whatever. So,
right, yeah.
He spoke to him a little bit, and chit chatted, and all this, that, and the other.
Gotcha.
He left. He was like, "Thank you." No, thank you. He said. And then he was like, "Sorry about that. I had to help those that help us."
Right.
And I sit there and says, man, that's completely understandable.
He turns on his.
No, it wasn't like with Pharrell. Right. No, it wasn't like how I was with Pharrell. No.
So funny.
That's a topic. That's a story for another discussion. But
right? Yeah, really.
So I said, cool. It's cool. It's understandable, man. You Goldberg, yeah. And he was, I'm glad you understand that. And while he sit there, went down to sign my autograph for my brother first before me.
Right, right.
I'm generous, but anyway.
Right.
I was sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Right.
It was like, in light of current events, I don't know how I feel about you sitting there saying you appreciate how I feel towards the police.
Oh my God. I feel like right, that was something like I expected you to be angry immediately when you saw his uniform. Like it was some kind of.
But no, but that's just. But I was reaching. I mean, just that. My brain just went there. I'm not saying that's what happened, but my brain just went there.
I could see that mid autograph, just like, wait a minute.
It's like, no, never mind. Forget this. Keep my money. I don't want you signing this. No.
Right.
But nah, he autographed my brother and I's photos.
Right.
We took a photo, or he and I took a photo together.
Sweet.
Joked around a little bit. He wanted to sit there and do like those square up photos.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, come on now. This ain't convincing at all.
Right.
You got at least.
I swear I won.
He got 70 pounds on me. He got 70 pounds on me. Period.
It's ridiculous.
And his damn fist as big as my face.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
So I just did. It's like, let's just look cordial. So let's take a picture like this and shit. And then as I left and whatever, sit there, thanked him and all that. He sit there, he looked at my fiance. Keisha. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. And he said, like, he's got a good soul. I looked at her, I was like, you hear that, Keisha? He said, Goldberg said, I got a good soul.
Right, Goldberg.
Fucking, yeah.
Right, yeah. I just wanted.
Validated.
I just wanted life. Let's get the heck out of here.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I had a good time.
That's what's up.
As far as the convention itself, they expanded on it, but yet there was still not enough room. Like I found out there was another floor.
Yeah, they were packed in upstairs.
That they had
too,
up there. Yeah, had upstairs too.
Like
that's why I found out about the Lexington Tokyo Con or something like that. I forget how it's pronounced.
There was a lot of art stuff I heard, like a lot of artistic stuff, which is cool, obviously.
I mean,
stuff we love.
The comic convention.
Yeah,
emphasis on comic.
But yeah, I like heard like somebody said that, and I like saw like a couple of the a friend of mine, Michelle, what's up, subscriber, watcher, great friend. She I saw her picture with like Shredder and one of the Ninja Turtles. I think it was Leo. But like the Ninja Turtles costume that I guess it was one of the show people, whoever it had on, was like, it looked like like from the old movies. Like it looked like super high quality.
Yeah.
And Shredder looked legit too, but he looked like he was a little too short. It was the only thing about it. That's the only thing about it. He was like her height, which was kind of weird. So it's like Shredder, but like less intimidating.
I didn't see as many costumes as I do the years before.
Right.
As I normally do.
Yeah.
Or as it was the year before.
Yeah.
There was a few. There was one that was cool as hell. Like I was going to the second room, which I've just found out. It was hidden, I swear. And it was like friggin' this beer bellied Nick Fury and Thor.
Right.
And like the guy had a beard, like an actual beard and hair and everything too.
Yeah.
They were sitting there just walking together.
Yeah.
And they were completely separate from this group of Hawkeye, Captain America, and Black Widow.
It's like, hey, the Avengers just split up. It's like, what the heck happened?
Basically, yeah. So I'm sitting there looking at it, and like it was funny as hell because only Nick Fury and Thor just now saw them three.
Right.
And I think one of them tried to call them out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. I was like, this
I saw a good
awkward.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force crew like walking together, like a bald dude, like looked like Carl, like the full suited, like Shipmaster Shake, and then Frylock, and then this girl was like dressed as Meatwad, and then a buddy of mine I went to college with, Jackson. What's up, Jackson? He took a picture with like all of them. It was really good. Yeah,
that's cool, especially because the voice for Master Shake was there that day too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man. That's so awesome.
So that would have been dope as hell.
Sweet.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see anywhere near as many costumes as before.
Yeah.
I may have to dress up next year.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Like I'll definitely be there next year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying it out loud because I don't want it stolen. I don't want to sit there. Next year there's 70 other people dressed like me.
Yeah. Oh, I heard it. But Louisville's is not until November. I thought Louisville's was earlier than that.
I thought so too.
I thought it was like close, like after that, because last year Louisville's, Matt Smith was at Louisville's. If you don't know Matt Smith, Doctor Who, that's who Matt Smith is. But yeah,
so that was.
I thought that was earlier. It might got pushed back. That's weird. But anyways, yeah, November is Louisville's next, so that's the next Comic-Con that's near.
Directly near us. I also caught this. This was actually the first year, out of the 3 years that I've been there, where Tommy, Jason David Frank, this was the first time he was actually not scheduled or made an appearance.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, he's been there like every time.
Yeah, and his line is always
nuts.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've never been in line for it. I was actually thinking, I might just do that this year. Yeah. And then he wasn't even there. Yeah,
that's weird.
I probably would have had to wait 2 hours any damn way. So that was not. I mean, hell, the longest I've had to wait was with Mick Foley.
Okay. Makes sense.
Because I was in a long ass line.
Yeah.
And then that long ass line had to get relocated.
Oh, okay.
His booth ended up getting moved somewhere else entirely.
Yeah.
And then it was just the whole point of, okay, everybody sit there and just kind of stay in your spot. Like, stay in your spot, but shift. And it was like from the middle of the convention to an end of the convention.
Yeah.
And we sit and sitting there trying to get that line together to sit there and
walk single file through the whole convention.
like the highest level of snake.
Right. Yeah. People just start falling off.
For real. Oh hell, Kyle Reese was there. I mean,
really?
Michael Biehn. Yeah.
Dang.
Oh well. But yeah, that's all I fucking enjoy. I did not see him at all, and it wasn't just because of his height either. He was scheduled to be there. He had a booth and everything.
Yeah.
But I think he wasn't there at the time I was there.
Where'd you go? You went Saturday, right?
I went Saturday. Yeah. Okay. He was supposed to be Saturday, but
Gotcha. That's what's up. Yeah, I saw like a bunch of people down there on like Friday because I was down there, but then like I went out of town for a second on Saturday, so I wasn't even in town then. But yeah, it looked like it was good. It was another good year. Like you said, it expanded, which is always good. I mean, so, yeah, man. So yeah, Lexington Comic-Con, actually pretty damn like big Comic-Con, especially probably because people think, oh, it's in Kentucky. I don't expect it to be as massive. It's not obviously not San Diego Comic-Con or anything like that, or New York, but still, it's like one of the like bigger ones, especially the amount of people that they bring in to it, the amount of stars and talent or whatever that they bring in. So yeah. But we gotta wait till November, till Louisville, which is weird. I could have swore last time it was like May.
Approaching. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because I thought they were like back to back pretty close, but that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Comic-Con this year. Of course, this past weekend, we're past that. Another year gone, and we'll be back for another year next year.
I miss Darkwing Duck again.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Damn it. Oh well.
But yeah,
maybe next year.
Right? Yeah, maybe next year. But that's enough of the Comic-Con stuff. We are wanted to move on to some music things.
Well, actually,
is there something else?
While we stick to Comic-Con,
okay,
or at least comics, just something that popped up. What's that?
Comma X.
Comma X.
Comma X.
So, due to the Secret Wars that's going on in Marvel now,
right?
About 33 titles. Yeah, you're right there. I see you at the article now. 33 damn titles are going to be canceled. Shoot, all new Captain America. Wait, that's not the one with. No, that can't be. No, that's not the one with Sam Wilson as Captain America.
They're canceling Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man. Damn. Okay.
Wait a minute. No, I don't see that.
You don't see that? Right there. Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
God, Guardians, Deadpool, Captain Marvel,
Superior Iron Man. I'd expect that. That felt like a short term. Yeah. That felt more like a short term thing.
Spider-Man 2099. Candy X-Men, Wolverines, X-Men just in general, Storm, Rocket Raccoon, Nightcrawler, New Avengers, Legendary Star-Lord. Man, that's a lot. It's gonna be interesting to see. So long, 616. I like it. It's gonna be interesting to see like what they do as far as like with the Secret Wars thing. This is like the second time this has happened. Like as far as like them doing like a big canceling. Well, it wasn't as extensive last time.
I mean, this ain't like
a time thing.
Yeah, this ain't like a New 52 or nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, actually, hell, in a way, it probably could have been.
I guess. I
mean, but not in that scale.
Yeah.
But hell, they've shaken it up a little. The roster a little bit too.
Yeah.
Damn, now that I think about it, DC's kind of done it in less than 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
because it was Crisis of Infinite Earths and then New 52.
Yes.
But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there. I didn't have too much to say about it.
Oh, another funny thing. I don't know if you saw that where Jason Momoa.
Oh,
did you see
that? I don't believe it.
It was just funny. It was, if you hadn't seen it, apparently there was a guy on Twitter that went to a comic convention. A comic convention. I forgot, somewhere in the northern states, like above New York or something like that. But anyway, he got an autograph from him, and he said he asked what he thought about Marvel, I guess is what he said, didn't he? It was something like that along those lines.
That's what he asked him.
And he said write something about Marvel, pretty much like I was saying, and he autographed.
He said write something about DC haters or something.
Yeah, DC. About DC haters. About what basically like DC haters keep saying about DC, like the films and whatever. And he autographed it, and then he signed it, and then Jason Momoa, and then put "fuck Marvel" on there as well too. Like it's the little message.
The handwriting looks way.
It looks weird.
It looks way different. It looks way different from the signature.
Right. That was the only thing I was like. It looks way different from the signature. I think it actually was his signature, but I don't know. We'll see. But I could see maybe Jason Momoa wants to completely just
it's like no
goof off.
Aquaman's no pussy in this world. Right, no, fuck Marvel.
Right, I will fight anybody. He's just gonna be like that
reboot.
crazy, freaking like really aggressive dude at the out of your group of friends that's always trying to fight.
Your group of friends or your super friends?
Anyway. So that's supposed to be Ben Affleck's job because he's Batman. But no, Aquaman's just gonna be over aggressive because he's got something. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Something to prove. Just overcompensating like a motherfucker. Yeah.
He's like, dude, it's not that serious. But yeah, that was funny. That was something else funny I saw. It's goofy, but
I'm the king of the seas. Shit ain't that deep. Fuck him.
I feel like that should be on the shirt. Like straight up, just a shirt.
Shit ain't that deep.
Shit ain't that deep. Fuck him. Oh man. But yeah, so music.
All right, yeah.
You gonna do music?
Might as well, yeah.
We got some music news. Well, not even music news, but just like some music, I guess.
Discussions.
Yeah,
discussion, if you will.
Discussions, yeah. We're idiots.
Oops.
It works. You shouldn't listen to us. You should listen to us, but don't take it like seriously, because you might get yourself in trouble. Especially if you go around quoting what we say. No telling. Unless we
shit ain't that deep.
Yeah, shit ain't that deep. Fuck it. But when Webb first came over today before we started shooting, I was like trying to hold back like saying something about this project because I read this Rolling Stone article probably about 3 or 4 months ago where they interviewed Kendrick right around the same time I came out.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, sorry. Kendrick Lamar, sorry. Right around the same time I came out, and they were just interviewing him, talking about the new album, the direction he was going. He was talking about like the musicians that he was working with, which I was like, okay, this sounds like he's like really like trying to get in a zone, a sound, something very natural sounding, not something that just is either a sampled or a
just all synths and
shit. Artificially like produced, like just regular whatever kind of hip hop album, and that kind of gave me something to expect. And then when I heard I was like, okay, I like this, like where it's going. It's interesting because it's different. And a lot of people were saying either they loved it, and a lot of people loved it, obviously. But then there was people like, oh, it's like people were like going as far as like saying it was too positive, almost like kind of saying along those lines, which I was kind of like, really, dude? Like how can you go like straight for like something like that? And I'm like, okay. And then the second single came out. Shit makes
me feel too good. No,
right? I don't like this. I smiled like twice.
Well, I ain't heard that. No.
Yeah, I saw like a couple times, like a couple comments, like where people were like going back and forth. But then I heard the second single, and I was like, okay. I was like, I can see this like kind of tone he's going for. He's going for a very.
Second single was the Black of the Berry, right?
Yeah, the Black of the Berry. And I was like, I can hear this tone that he's going for. It's kind of like very pro-black, I guess you could say. I was trying to think of the best way to like say it. But that's the best way I can kind of think about saying it. It's like this very pro-black, very like in your face, not really, I wouldn't say like, I don't want to say serious tone, but he definitely had something to say, and he had a theme, and that theme, I think, rang true throughout. If you kind of getting where I'm getting at, I love it. like I told somebody today at work, I was like, it's my favorite hip hop album, like of all time since like the Black album. like as far as like what, just in general, like a lot of people, like I put up on on Facebook. Matter of fact, today I was like, I put the album title, I put Kendrick Lamar, I was like the album title, and then I put masterpiece, and that was it. And people started commenting and like saying different stuff. But like one of my friends, good friend of mine, Elliot Newman, what's up? He was like saying, do you really think it's that much better than J. Cole's album? Because that's obviously been a big discussion as of late, is how good J. Cole's album was. And I guess you consider like J. Cole's album was that technically the third album? Or was that the second?
I'm sure that's his third.
That's a third. Yeah, that was third. Because you got to think. Yeah, that was third. But this was Kendrick's technically second as far as like mainstream release.
But it's still.
Now you obviously got to count Section 80 and all that good stuff too, which everybody does. Which that was a big argument last time, was if Section 80 was better than Good Kid, Mad City, vice versa, whatever. This, in my opinion, is better than both of them. It's not even at first. Like I got to the fourth song on the album, and my buddies have been texting back and forth. Brent and Jacob had been sending messages back and forth the whole day, like talking like, yeah, this is awesome. Jacob was listening to it, and he was listening to it throughout the day at work. And then like I got to the fourth song, and I texted him that, like I was like, this is ridiculous. And that's where I stopped yesterday. And I finally finished it today, and I was worried, like I'd heard those first four songs, and I was like, okay, I was like, there's still 14 songs. I was like, no, there's still 12 songs left. I hope the rest of this album don't just like take a dive, but it didn't do that at all. And I'm a real big, like, I'm big on instrumentals, just from my background, from playing music, from playing saxophone. That was one of the things that initially got me excited about the album, first and foremost, when he was talking about the musicians he was working with. But that album, not only from a lyrical standpoint, because it's so good musically, one of the things that's interesting is you don't, in every song, and it didn't need to be like this, but in every song, there's like 2 or 3 songs where you get that Kendrick, that visceral, lyrically and energetically Kendrick, where he's just like snapping the fuck off. There's like You, and then there's like the last track, and then there's like one other, I can't remember the exact name, but like where he's just like snapping off. But then on the other songs, it's not that he like dumbed down his lyrics, which was one of the things I saw people started saying when not when Black of the Berry came out, but when the other one came out, when Kunta came out, because Kunta came out like last week around like Thursday, and people were commenting on Two Dope Boys and kind of talking about if they liked it. They didn't like it because the lyrics weren't dumbed down. They didn't like it, the lyrics weren't hitting hard enough, and he didn't really like start snapping off to the end. But the music quality is so good that I don't want to say like he didn't dumb down his lyrics, but like he got right where he needed to be lyrically and vocally, where the music still has plenty of room to shine through, and he still has plenty of room to shine through, which that can be a big thing. Like some people like will get in some really amazing production and they might start clashing because they get overly excited. They're like, okay, the music's like really bam in your face, so I've kind of got to go like with it. But sometimes you don't need to do that. Like if you still are giving like something lyrically to a song, not just like I have to spit a hot verse. A lot of people think about it in that singular space of, okay, this verse has to be good, and then I have to write another verse has to be good, and then I have to make sure the hook sounds good, and then the beat, I know I like the beat. Like you got to think about it in a song, and that's the thing that like ties it together, the album as a whole, so perfectly, is that each is a song like through and through. And even the features, which there's very few, like as far as there's only one as far as like a full verse rap feature, and it's Rhapsody, which I give him kudos for that, because that verse that Rhapsody spit on that track is retarded. Like she goes in, and and it sounded perfect. Like it took me a second, because like when I first heard it, I was like, is this Rhapsody? Because I wasn't looking at my phone when I was listening to it. I was just listening to it and letting it run. And I had to go and look at my phone to make sure it was, and make sure it wasn't like somebody else, some new person on TDE or something like that. Because like it sounds like her. But I was like, man, she like, and obviously Rhapsody goes in, but she like, that was a good, that was a really, really dope verse from Rhapsody, and it fit perfectly in that song. And then one of the biggest things, I was like, okay, this album's amazing. I was getting like to the last track. It got to I, which I love the way he did I on the album, because it's like a live version. It's like a really different version. I mean, it's like obviously the same version, but it's literally like a performed live version. And it has
like back when cassettes were around, there used to be a radio single.
Yeah, exactly.
And then album version.
Yeah. That's basically what he did, but it was like an album version that sounded like he recorded it live at a show.
For some of y'all that cassettes are before CDs. Yeah. They were like these little square, like kind of rectangular things.
Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what he was playing in that weird box with
Lesson
tiny
for you
headphones. Yeah, for all our young viewers out there. But it was the thing like
for those who don't know what a CD is.
right. Yeah. Oh my God. Right. What is a CD?
I'm sorry.
No, but it's a tiny frisbee. No. But it's funny because I was listening to it. I got to that I song. I was like, okay. I was like basically doing these like check off like kudos. Like basically like the first check off was like he didn't do what everyone expected him to do, which was I've got an amazing formula that everybody loved, both in like from a street level and commercially with Good Kid, Mad City. I should find some way to make something different but replicate that. No, he completely went to I'm going to like really give you some in-depth and some shit that's honestly going to be really heavy for some people. To not even like on a lyrical level, like from like, okay, this shit is too complex, but like there's some stuff in there that's like, it's some people who are gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I should listen to this in front of certain people, like, cause this is some heavy shit. But it's something that, especially us being black men, and I think if you're American in general at this point, like, cause everybody's pretty much knows what the hell is going on, especially in our generation. My white friends know just as much as I do, and vice versa, as much as like experiences. Obviously, they haven't experienced the same things, but we all have an understanding, and it's something that everybody can like hear and relate to. And I think that was a big first check off. The fact that he didn't just go, I'm gonna try to make basically like what every rapper would say, which is like, I'm gonna make a better version of that last album that you loved, but I'm gonna avoid the sophomore slump. Damn the sophomore slump, he avoided the shit out of it. But as it went on and progressed, I got like checking off those boxes. Like the features weren't as heavy. The music, as far as production wise, was like beautiful. Like some of these songs I can't wait to ride to in the summer. Like as far as the way they sound, lyrically he was there. And then when it got to the last track, have you heard the last song?
I gotta go do another listen.
Well, anyways, if you listen to the last, I almost don't even want to spoil it if you haven't. If you guys haven't heard it. Because it surprised me because you don't see it coming.
Mortal Man.
Yeah, Mortal Man on the last track. I'll say this. I won't tell you what happens, but there was like when it started and he goes through like his little thing. He goes through the song and then he goes into like the last little skit part and he's reading and then he has a conversation with somebody. And like I was like, honestly shed a couple tears like when you hear that conversation. It's so authentic and it's something that easily could have been corny and used just for the fake, just for the sake of like, hey, look what I did or look what I pulled off. But it sounded so real. Like as this conversation sounded real, when you hear what it is, you'll understand that it's impossible what was done. It sounded so real, it blew me away, and that was the last check, and I was like, I can't put it into words. Like this is ridiculous that he pulled this album as a whole off, and it sounds this good, and it definitely he got his message across, absolutely. But it's definitely one of my favorite albums of all time already, and I feel I'm still like I don't want to say that hard, but I can't not. I don't even want to hold back saying it because it's ridiculous. Like I didn't expect to hear something this good musically, hip hop wise, ever again. Like since back to like Aquemini and like all these amazing albums. Like that's where I put this in. Like I'm just grateful that like this generation that's out now, that's grown up around this, and obviously he's like the same age as us. But the fact that like there is still an album, and I'll put J. Cole's in there too. There's still these people that are making these albums that can still show that it doesn't have to be a certain sound. Like hip hop and rap doesn't have to sound the same way as it sounds on the radio. It can be like something that the radio would be terrified to play. Some of those songs, even edited. Like there's imagery in there that's like, I don't know if I can get away with this. Like, but that's my personal feeling. Obviously, everybody's gonna feel different about it. But it's an album that it definitely, I can see what he was trying to do. He definitely pulled it off, in my opinion. And it was really good. And I'll definitely be listening to it for a long time. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah,
I gotta give it another listen. But just off of the first listen that I got from it, which is funny because let me get this together.
Rock the mic. No.
But no, the conversation that you and I just had, or just a few minutes ago with y'all, excuse me. It was like, is this the second album or is this the third album? Well, technically, this is the third album.
Yeah.
This is a second mainstream album. And so a lot of folks ain't really familiar with Section 80. So they can, Good Kid, Mad City, that was his debut album. And then
please go listen to Section 80 if you haven't.
Yeah, recommend it. And so when it comes time for To Pimp a Butterfly, which is kind of funny as hell to hear it.
That name, man. When I first saw the name, I was like,
the way he was kind of wanting to go along the lines of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
But anyway, once you hear To Pimp a Butterfly, probably is, I think what makes a bigger impact is that it's such a completely different direction from Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
And it's like, the best way I can describe it is raw.
Yeah.
It's not very, I mean, as far as clean cut corners and all this, that, and the other, no, it's really dark and gritty. Like,
yeah, it is.
Excuse me. So that's probably what put off a lot of other people too. Because as far as, if you notice, like with Section 80, it kind of starts off small as far as these are problems in the community that Kendrick wanted to address in certain forms of a song, this, that, and the other. I mean, you got as far as different gangs and shit in this area.
Yep.
As far as promiscuous girls, Keisha's song, or Tammy's song, them songs like that. Damn, I can barely talk. And so when it comes to Good Kid, Mad City, it gets a little bit more personal, or kind of a retelling, or like kind of putting it in the form of a movie. Yeah. As far as almost those exact same problems.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's expanding on those themes even more again, but this time it kind of takes more of a militant pro-black approach.
Yeah.
And I could understand how jarring that can be to go from Good Kid, Mad City, shit's like Poetic Justice.
Backseat freestyle.
And backseat freestyle, excuse me. Money Trees.
Yeah.
Like songs that you can tell, that you could actually hear on the radio and shit that even, people that are only into mainstream can bump. And then to go from those type of songs to The Black of the Berry.
Yeah.
Or to
even You.
Yeah, or You.
Yeah.
Or fucking I. Even though it's on the radio. Even though it's on the radio.
Yeah, and that's the most radio one on there. I would say I and All Right are probably the two. And I would, the way I was kind of thinking about it,
Pharrell and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
That, but
the way I was thinking about it was like, if you think about it, like Good Kid, Mad City had a lot of songs that you could put on, you could bop to, and then you could like recite the hooks and just kind of jam out to and not even think about it. But like all of these songs are so cerebral that like you can't listen to them in that way. Like you can still obviously, like I put on like the one that I like now that I've listened to it like 2 times, like front to back. Now when I just want to listen to songs off of it, I always start with All Right, which is the most bouncy backseat freestyle-esque song on the album, and then I go in there. So like I kind of like dip my toe in the water and then I just dive in, because then from that I go
Swimming
like
Pools,
around.
Another
track.
I
mean, look at something like anybody could sing that in a party, house party, whatever, and
the
not
funny
even
thing
think
is,
about it,
and not even realize that song's really more or less bashing peer pressure and alcoholism.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but
that's the other album.
It was hidden. It was his message was very strategically placed in there.
It was like with Good Kid, Mad City, he was sugarcoating medicine.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And then with To Pimp a Butterfly, it's like, no.
Right, yeah.
Here's the medicine. Drink up.
Right, yeah. And you look at it in the title, like Good Kid is what you see, but Mad City, where he come from, that's what's inspiring him. So that's the kind of shit that's under the first layer. And then To Pimp a Butterfly, like that's why that end skit perfectly ties up that title, like beautifully. And then with the surprise, like he helps even more to tie it in. Which God, I still can't. It blows my mind how they pulled that off the way they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. And I don't think nobody else could have pulled it off the way they did. Like without it being that, like it had to be like that shit was like he thought about that and knew exactly how it needed to be done, and not just done for the sake of being done, because anybody could have fucking did it at this point. As long as it's been. But it'd be interesting to see, and I'm not gonna say the other person's name, but it'd be interesting to see if somebody could pull it off with who.
I know.
But I don't. It just that conversation was so perfect. But yeah, man, that album. The biggest thing was I knew I was gonna like it from a production standpoint, but I was worried something in there was gonna turn me off, and I was gonna like, God, I wasn't gonna grasp something, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm getting older. The fact that I like that sound is really indicative of the stuff that my parents raised me on. I mean, there's shit on there that sounds like it would be on. There's shit on there that sounds like the damn like old school like Prince songs, or it sounds like you can tell who these musicians are. Like there's stuff on there that sounds like it would have been on Aquemini. There's stuff on there that sounds like it would have been on been samples that Pete Rock would have used on Mecca and the Soul Brother, which by the way, that's my favorite album of all time. I've always thought about that, but I've never brought that up on the show. That's my favorite hip-hop album. That's my favorite
Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Yeah, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Mecca and the Soul Brother, because that has my favorite song of all time, which you know what the hell that is. The Reminiscence of You, Over You, if you don't. But yeah, man, it I guess it was a in a way there was like that pleasant surprise thing. But I remember like, and I'm a lot more receptive to like that more I guess you could say militant tone. I embrace it when it comes, and when somebody wants to be that gritty and have a very serious message, I will be like, okay, yeah, let's see what you got to say, because I respect that, because that shit's happening. I see it happening right here. Would you like to talk about that? Would you not like to just look past that? Let's see what you got to say about it. And from that first song, I was like, damn, like when he came, like that first drop comes in on that first song, and I'm like, ooh-wee. I was like, Kendrick, man. I was like, you're gonna... It's some people running and hiding already. Like, I don't know about this. But yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome to see this album come out, and then J. Cole's album that just recently come out. It's funny because like J. Cole's album, like this last one, I think basically put him in a place where he's gonna be as long as he keeps it up, which I think he will. He's going to be a stadium filling artist, and this was kind of an album to be like, yes, he deserves to be here, and he needs to be here. Lyrically, he knows where he wants to be, and he's putting forward the effort, because I think some people were still on the fence about him. With Kendrick, this is just like, now it's like, now we're starting, like, we knew who he was, we knew how talented he was, but now we're starting to learn more and more who he is as a person, and that's awesome, because you obviously, if it's some artist that we'll be listening to for God knows how long, we know it's somebody that we want to know, we want to relate to, especially if it's an artist that we enjoy thoroughly. It just makes me want to go see him again, because I mean, I haven't seen him since the Drake concert, since he opened for Drake. As far as live, I've seen Cole twice, early days. But man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. And especially, when Kendrick actually opened for Drake at Rupp. This was actually before.
That was Section 80.
I was about to say, I don't remember him performing any Section 80 songs.
He did ADHD.
He did ADHD. He did ADHD, Pussy and Patron, and so it's I can only imagine what it would have been like.
Yeah.
Had he had Good Kid, Mad City, it came around that time. Because at first, like, folks are kind of going like, yeah, opening up for Kendrick, or is it opening up Chasing Cash? Or was that who was first?
Chasing Cash, Kendrick Lamar, and then A$AP. Remember A$AP was there? Remember Rocky was there?
Really?
Remember Rocky did a lap around the stadium? Remember he ran around on the floor? Remember that? Rocky was there.
I'm not probably.
I like Rocky. This is the funny thing. They've grown on me. So. That whole crew's grown on me. It's weird. I don't know why. It's strange because they're not like my normal like type of artist that I like. But it's the same thing. Like now, I'll listen to fucking Yo Gotti, and I used to not. I couldn't stand his ass. And you know why?
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like there's a lot of those artists that like I guess I got out of like in college. I was kind of like I like who I like. I like this type of music. That shit is garbage, and I would pass judgment.
We were kind of hip hop purists.
Yeah, we were.
Once we started in college.
But now I'll listen to. I mean, there's some stuff I still won't fuck with.
Hit Boy and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Fucking motherfucking. I can't even think of. I can't even think of other people like Hit Boy. I'll actually listen to Yo Gotti like when it's there because other people fuck with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, I hate the fact that I was a hip hop purist because it's such a corny. I hate elitists in any field.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of embarrassed to have that ego, to have had that ego at that one point. And to be so damn snooty about something.
Yeah. It was so hard not to on the music that we was raised on. I guess we just felt like
the music we was raised on, and plus the music that other folks was fucking with at that time.
Yeah.
And the fact
it was
that
completely different. We just didn't. And the other thing, I mean, we just didn't connect with it as much.
Yeah.
Like I connect with Kendrick, like even though I mean he talks about what he talks about, but I connect, and like I've never sold drugs and stuff like that or anything like that, but I just never, and this is for anybody will be able to say this, they won't, like certain artists just you will not connect with because you haven't been through those same things. But Kendrick talks about it on a much more, I guess you could say, I don't want to say like broader scale, but like it's not just like I went through this, I did this. It's like more like this is what we are going through, this is what we are having to deal with, and like yeah, I've fucking dealt with that shit. As far as like race relations, that kind of stuff, it's there. I see it there, and I know it's like stuff that needs to be addressed. And he addressed it. I hope he wins fucking Grant. He has to. I don't see anybody else that can touch him. There's no way.
As of this year.
I can't think of anybody that could come out and touch him.
The only thing I can see, the only rap album I can see competing with it. Cole's.
Yeah.
Because he missed that Grammy deadline, didn't
he? Yeah. That's why they had to. So they squares the song in because the song was out. So they were like, okay, we can get the song in. We can give you this, but next year, the album.
So those two are, I would say, neck and neck as far as best out rap album of 2015.
Right. Yeah. And that's the fact that it's those two. The fact that those are the two that are right now that like you could say honestly, and this is.
And guess what? Because y'all sitting there backing up Drake's "If You're Reading This, It's Too Late" calling it a mixtape, that shit won't get nominated. Fuck you if it is. Shit ain't that deep.
Here's the fuck that. Shit ain't that deep. The funny thing is, speaking of Drake, is I put up that Facebook thing. First message I got from Che, matter of fact, long time brother, been on the show, good friend of ours, obviously, Che Carr. First thing he said was, I heard he killed Drake. And I was like, I didn't hear that at all. Like, where did that come from? Like, that was the first thing he said when I put up that about Kendrick's album being a masterpiece. He said, I heard he killed Drake. And I was like, I wonder what he's talking about. So I'm like, now in the back of my mind, I'm like, God dang it. Then I got to think about this and listen to the songs. And now I'm trying to figure, like, which one of these would be directed. And I was thinking you, potentially. Because he's kind of talking about, like, it's kind of like along the lines of, I used to fuck with you. We used to be like, whatever. And now I can't stand you, motherfucker. Like that kind of shit. It's going through that. Like you thought you was this. The world don't lead you. And I'm like, man, if this is about Drake, damn, like he must have really pissed him off somehow. Cause it's angry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I don't see any of it really being directed at anybody. It doesn't seem like it.
I'd much rather rappers nowadays actually call other rappers out if they're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
Because I mean that little cutesy, them cutesy subtweet type raps.
Right.
It's getting played out.
And it's funny because like ironically,
motherfuckers, because it's the whole anonymous.
Yeah.
It's like the whole anonymous comments or people are brave behind the keyboard and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that mentality is kind of getting played out. But the fact is, it's getting big. It's getting more and more
played out.
It's getting more and more played out, and there are more and more people doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
And
and ironic,
I'm ready for somebody to sit there and just go, "Hey, you!
I don't like your face." And right,
I challenge you to a duel.
Right, and then they go in.
So they had a gunfight up there. Somebody had to go.
You can just slap a man. No, it's funny, ironically, because I think like Drake said it best on that fucking mixtape album, whatever the hell it is, where he said,
"What were you talking about, Tiger?"
Yeah, we were talking about
Tiger.
So
you need to act your age instead of your girl's age.
Yeah, and then he was like, but not even that. He said people will hit you up. People will say some shit, talk about you on the airwaves, and then hit you up after like it's only rap. Like basically saying they'll say some sketchy shit about you when they're on the radio with Sway in the Morning or the Breakfast Club or whatever, but then they'll call you after and be like, "Dude, I was just saying that because whatever." Like, wait a minute, what?
Aren't you doing that shit?
Right. What?
But no, not you.
I was like, what? Did I do it? No. I was like, dang it. I was like, I don't even know how I'm doing it.
I don't know, man.
It just happens naturally.
Just don't I don't like the notion of calling somebody out for being subliminal.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're calling them out in a subliminal way.
Now, here's the funny thing. I've thought about that same thing. Obviously, like I would rather them just like say their names, and like I think Kendrick got the closest to doing that when he literally said what he said on.
You're not talking about Control, are you?
Control.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the closest we've came to like somebody literally being like, I don't like, even though it wasn't like,
it wasn't
directed. It wasn't like, hey, I don't like this one guy. I don't like him for this reason. It was just kind of like, hey, I'm challenging all you to be better at what the fuck we all do.
Then there was also his verse at this hip hop BET cipher.
Yeah.
It was like, and nothing's been the same. The album. Yeah. Since they dropped Control, and tucked the sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes or some shit like that.
Like,
and even then, but yeah, people said,
right, yeah.
But yeah, as dope as it was still like, all right.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like I think about it like this. This is my standpoint from the generation that we come from and the stuff that we've seen. I want them to call each other out names, but especially nowadays, the way how many people, take each other out and stuff.
Assassin's Creed fell off.
You
already knew this.
Pun intended.
If you played Unity.
Pun intended.
If you played Unity, you already knew this.
That was symbolic. Ubisoft, I'm sorry if you're watching this.
See that shit?
Right.
It's a metaphor.
Right, yeah.
But
victory better be good this year. But I almost, myself, like I said, I want them to just call each other out. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want them to do it because
Team Jacob, Team Edward type shit. Yeah. It's always gonna.
But not even that. Like, I don't want anybody else to get killed.
No, it ain't gonna go to that fucking level.
We didn't think it was gonna go to that level with Biggie and Pac either, and we lost both them motherfuckers.
Well, they were actually their lyrics were more violent than any fucking.
Well,
thing.
Yeah, but I feel like,
and Drake, if anything.
Well, yeah.
I mean, despite
most rappers nowadays
he's gotten into.
Yeah, he just got in a fight in Dubai apparently.
Oh, the last thing I remember was like Diddy punched him in his injured arm or some shit.
It's like he gave him a frog.
Indian rug burn.
Get away from me.
Like, gave him an Indian rug burn and some shit.
When you put it that way, when you say it that way, I had to immediately think about it. Like most rappers nowadays aren't even close enough to that level of.
You trying to get into some shit or some gangster shit or something like that?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and you see what happened with Suge Knight, or you see what's going on with Suge Knight at this point in time. So
there's very few. Like T.I. might kill somebody, maybe, I don't know, or somebody he knows. That's the biggest thing. It's people they know.
I think he's doing better.
It's people they know, because it wasn't like Pac shot Biggie or Biggie shot Pac. It was like people. I think it was somebody in authoritative, probably in one of the cases, but
Illuminati confirmed.
Right, yeah. Illuminati confirmed.
Hashtag Illuminati confirmed.
Right. Anyway. The show's gonna be shut down. It's the last episode. Somebody just gonna come and put a bag over my head and carry me off. Wait, I do the show by myself.
Right. I didn't see anything.
Right. Say, la, 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 la.
That's all we had for off discussions.
Right. Yeah. Goodbye. Right. Yeah. The lights just cut off. Right. Yeah. It's so retarded. No, but yeah. When you put it that way, I mean, it's. That's what I worry about. It's like other people, but I don't think as much as bad as like violence has been. I don't think it'll like that time. I think it was specific to that time period. Now that you say it like that, like I don't think nobody would pop off if Kendrick and Drake started beefing or something like that.
Yeah. If it was more obvious if they were.
I don't even know who. I literally can't. Like back then, you thought about these two like huge figures that represented these two sides of the country. And there was these two sides of the country that was already at war on a street level. And then nowadays you're like, who the fuck? Like nobody's gonna. If Wayne and whatever started, whoever insert rapper, there's nobody I can think of now that I really think about it that would garner that much. I want to kill somebody. Like that's bad. Is that how soft our MCs are that we listen to?
But I don't know. At the same time, I mean, as far as the internet goes, as far as cyberbullying and shit, all it takes is somebody to hack somebody's account and sit there and give out their personal information. And all it takes is somebody just crazy and stupid enough to sit there and pull some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an avid fan of this, that, and the other. And plus, that was another point I wanted to bring up. As like when I was talking about Team Jacob and Team Edward. Also nowadays, other than people being subliminal more and more, nowadays, folks are being more and more, if you don't agree with my side or with my opinion, then you are in the wrong. Fuck everything you stand for. I don't know why I wasn't even looking at the camera when I was talking about that.
Yeah.
That whole divisive side of things.
Yeah. That's true.
That's with the internet though.
Yeah,
so.
it'll blow up online and then it'll fade away. It'll be on Twitter.
Yeah.
That'll be shots fired nowadays would be on Twitter.
And as long as as long as it ain't at the cyberbullying level of putting people's personal information out there, putting people's family information out there.
Exactly.
I mean, ain't shit really gonna happen in real life as long as it doesn't get to that level or something like that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
we talked about music for like an hour. That's awesome.
Damn near. That was crazy.
That was good. I like that. See, yeah. So go if you haven't yet, check out Kendrick's
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, new album. I listened to it on Spotify. But listen to Cole's album. Ooh. If you haven't yet, listen to Section 80. Listen to Good Kid, Mad City. If it's your first Kendrick album, listen to those too. Listen to all of Cole's albums too. Just listen, whatever the hell you want to. Just listen to it. Listen to hip hop in general. Still, don't give up on it.
Well, if you gave up on hip hop, then you weren't a real fan to begin with.
Right. Exactly.
Oh no, everything's crap nowadays. You weren't looking for the right fucking place.
Because there's
you weren't looking in the right place.
Shit.
Underground, mainstream.
Oh my god.
Local, regional.
Yeah. There's somebody out there that's nasty.
Overseas.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm fucking with Korean and Japanese rap now.
Dude, man.
I've been bumping like for the past couple of weeks. I actually been bumping. I don't even know how you pronounce it. It's it's K-O-H-H. Mm-hmm. Somebody was sitting there going, I think that stands for King of Hip Hop. I'll go with it.
That's dope.
Other one was Occasion, which is like OK Asian. Mm-hmm. It was all one word. His shit's dope as hell. Keith Ape. Have you heard It G Ma?
I have not.
Oh my god. It's funny as hell because at first I thought it was like when I first saw the hashtag for it, I thought it was just like somebody going like, it's cool. It was like another word saying it's cool, B. Yeah. It's It G Ma.
Yeah.
I thought it was like another version of that. But really, when I first heard the video, I was sitting there at work, sitting there just messing around.
Yeah.
And I had YouTube's music section on shuffle.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, It G Ma played, and I was like, the fuck is this, an international version of You Guessed It by OG? And like I sit there and I clicked on, I was listening and I was like, wait a minute, this ain't, hold on. I clicked on it on the tab.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know how to fucking feel about this.
Right? It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
I kept watching it a little bit and then I was like, well, what else do they got? And then obviously in the comment section there was some folks in there complaining saying, oh, that's cultural appropriation. Fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
That's a topic for another discussion, but fuck out of here with that. As far as in this instance.
Boo yourself.
So I started listening to some other stuff that they had. I ain't really. And Keith Ape is actually he actually changed his name, and he was a part of this group called the Cohorts, if I ain't mistaken. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, folks that are into that.
Post some comments.
Hell, if Che is into that,
Che will probably.
Yeah,
Che will know. He's already.
And like some of that shit was like like before his name change was dope as hell. The shit that he had when he changed his name was dope as hell.
Yeah.
And then I started branching out, and I was like, oh well, who's this? Oh well, who's this? Oh, that's
see,
dope.
that should happen. Like, that's the way it's supposed to happen. Like, you just start snowballing until you found like 12 new artists.
And don't let that language barrier sit there and just get you from there. Don't. I mean, there's Japanese, Korean, French, German rap, other shit that I've heard a little bit. And at the same time, those folks from those other countries, when they first heard rap from America, they're saying like, I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but it's dope as hell.
Exactly.
And that's the same shit where it's going on this, like it's coming back around. It's like I'm sitting there listening to Itchy Mouth. It's like all in the comment section, I don't know what the fuck they saying, but that shit bangs.
Right.
And so it's funny as hell. So like, yeah. So, if you ain't listening to, like, if you're saying hip hop is dead, if you don't believe in saying rap's crap and all this other stuff, you're not listening to the right thing, or you're not branching out as much as you ought to, or you're stuck in the past.
Some of the best dinosaur. Some of the best.
All we are is dust in the wind. What I said last week.
Hey, some of the best hip hop culture is not within our borders anymore. It started here, but man, some people have taken some of the best break dancers, definitely some of the best break dancers, some of the best graffiti artists, some of the best musicians, hip hop artists are not within the borders of the United States anymore. They are out there. Damn it, they're out there.
It's spread.
Yeah, God,
it's spread.
Man, it's like crazy, and it's amazing.
Either wildfire or like whatever other analogy you want to use. Right. Don't use STDs and nothing. That's a terrible analogy.
Man, stop.
What's wrong with you?
You nasty son.
We can't fuck
bitch.
with you. Double up.
We can't fuck with you. I like that. Pun intended.
Oh,
game
man.
Blouses.
We should stop because I'm rambling.
Yeah, I'm done. Like we said, go get Kendrick's, go get J. Cole's, go get everybody's, go get K-pop. Go on YouTube and just go nuts. Just type in hip hop and just start clicking shit. You'll probably either laugh really hard because there'll be some terrible stuff on there.
Oh man, yeah. You will sift through it. You will have to sift through a lot of shit
because it's always
just to get to some
so cold in the D. Always remember that.
Oh Lord.
So it'll be funny. But yeah,
look up some country noise while you at it.
Yeah, definitely. We can't even bring up our own stuff anymore. That's bad. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's bad, but at the same time, it's just kind of like
we don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
plugging our own shit all the time.
With that said, check us out on
YouTube. Subscribe to the channel because this is the podcast. OAF Discussions, youtube.com/OAF Discussions, OAF Discussions @gmail.com if you want to send us a message. I just want to send a shout out. This is random, but I haven't told you this because I don't think you did that. But Alvin Weddle III actually bought Love of Luxury on Bandcamp. He sent us $9.
Oh,
he bought your project.
Well,
I don't know how to get the money. It's been in my inbox. I don't know how to get the money.
Too much information right there.
Yeah, I don't know how to get the money. I don't know. I feel bad. Thank you, Alvin, Mr. Weddle III, for buying it.
Especially Love of Luxury because
I'll try to get your money eventually.
I didn't really try to advertise it early.
Yeah, that's been at the level years ago.
It was years ago, and the fact that it was just kind of an experiment, if anything.
Yeah, that was 12 days ago was when he bought it.
Well, it's crazy. Shout out to Mr. Weddle. Yeah.
But yeah, guys.
Mr. Weddle.
Yeah, man.
Paulo Francisco.
He shaves his webbos. Webbos splash, you sexy motherfucker. Let's cut it off.
All right, you know what?
All right.
God, we getting way off topic.
I know. As always, like we said, everywhere, youtube.com/OAF Discussions, OAF Discussions @gmail if you want a topic, comment, post, subscribe. Thank you for all the new subscribers.
At KN_Nation on Twitter.
Yeah. Zach, thanks for the subscribe. Buddy. Yeah. As always, I'm Kid Swift.
And this is Thoroughbred Web.
We'll see you guys next week. Peace.